The last few months for me have been quite intense. Things seem to be changing all the time, and honestly feel I cannot find a balance between my expectations and reality at times. It's a mixture of attempting to regulate my emotions and searching for a reason for it all. Between the normal media and social media, it's hard to know what is truth anymore. We need to remember that we have the only truth we need. That is Jesus Christ. I really can't imagine living in a world these days without knowing God. He alone is my rock and salvation, my fortress, where I will never be shaken. Psalm 62 verse 2. I thank God every day for His mercy on my life. Even though I don't always understand everything He decides for me, I continue to trust in Him and His plan for me. I will continue to strive to worship God no matter what comes my way. I believe one of the hardest things to deal with is when you think in your mind you know what God has planned. You believe you've been faithful, and God has even given you a little sign or a confirmation. Then suddenly that changes. That thing you were so certain of is shaken, and not as you thought. My thoughts are nothing like your thoughts, says the Lord, and my ways are far beyond anything you could imagine. Isaiah 55 verse 8. This is just a reminder that we are never in control. God is always in control. We need to always be consulting with Him and never think we've got it all together or we understand all of God's plans. He wants us to trust in Him even if we go through a fiery furnace of situations. He wants us to trust in Him unconditionally, even if things do not go according to a plan we thought He had for us. Perhaps it was just our own thinking or our own attempt to control our lives. We need to have a mindset of Daniel's friends in Daniel chapter 3. The story when King Nebuchadnezzar made a gold statue of himself and made a decree that when this certain music was played, everyone had to bow down and worship. And if anyone refused, they would be thrown into a fiery furnace. Daniel's friends openly refused to do this and were then reported on. In Daniel chapter 3 verses 17 to 18, if we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your Majesty. But even if He doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your Majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up. So they ended up being thrown into the fiery furnace, which was heated up 7 times hotter than normal. There's that number 7 again. Then verse 25, "Look," Nebuchadnezzar shouted, "I see 4 men, unbound, walking around in the fire unharmed, and the 4th looks like a god." So we as followers of Christ may in fact go through a fiery furnace. It might even be heated up 7 times hotter than anyone else's circumstance. But we have our salvation in Jesus Christ, and that has already saved us from this world and everything that gets thrown at us. He is standing with us in the fire. The best verse for me in there is verse 18. But even if He doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your Majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up. even if God does not save us from the fiery furnace, even if our own plans don't go ahead, even if we do not understand what's happening, even if we're given terrible news, even if we are struggling with something, even if we do not know what the future holds, even if we're feeling a little vulnerable, we will never give into this world and serve another God. We will only worship the one true God. God bless you all.